Welcome back to the show. This is the office. Today we're having a first of a kind, engaging the gentleman who would be the first senator of the expansive, very competitive yet very fertile also, Nyeri County. Three gentlemen who have a wealth of experience. As I stated in the beginning, sitting in the midst of them feels like you're sitting with sharks with a lot of knowledge about their county, and you really have to be very, very specific on what you're going to engage them on. Keep sending us your comments. Your SMSs have been coming in pretty fast and thick, and love the response. We're opening up our phone lines shortly. You can be able to call us live. Kindly, when you call us, ensure that the volume of your TV is low so that we can be able to be audible and we can be able to have a conversation with you here from here in studio. Gentlemen, back to you. Before we even move much further, the role of a senator, key apart from the legislative issue, will be the resource mobilization. And the three of you will have a huge task in front of you to ensure that that county, all the projects and everything, get the funding they deserve. Motai, what is your plan to ensure that that county does not run out of resources?
Well, first and foremost is a question of identifying the sources of funds.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if you want to get something, you plan, you have a very clear plan
Mm-hmm.
about where it's going to come from. And to my mind, there are several areas that we need to work in as Nyeri County in order to acquire the resources. The first one, of course, is the Kenya government,
Mm-hmm.
and to ensure that you get your fair share of money in the Senate, because that's where the money from the country is going to be divided. For me, the next thing I would like to do is to form an organization. When I was Member of Parliament in Mukurweini,
Mm-hmm.
we had the Mukurweini Development Agency. And through the Mukurweini Development Agency, we were able to source for funding, even from overseas, for the various projects that we are having in the county. So we must realize that in addition to the resources that we have got here, it is possible for us to externalize ourselves and to externalize our problems so that we are able to match our wishes as far as projects are concerned, mm-hmm. and the resources that we can match. I intend, for example, to form the Nyeri Development Agency, an agency that is focused on partnering with other development agencies, mm-hmm. both internal and external, to work on the various projects that we can. That is the second thing. The third thing that is very, very important as far as resource mobilization is concerned is getting people we can partner with. Organizations, companies that we can partner with to develop an industrial base within Nyeri County. Let me give you a very good example. Mm-hmm. For example, if we wanted to go packing our coffee, or packing our milk, or indeed packing our vegetables, we would be thinking about a situation where you have gone over to England or to UK or Japan or whatever, especially people with large organizations such as supermarkets, who are willing and able to come to us in a place like Nyeri, where there is massive production of vegetables and cabbages and so on, and agree with them. We will partner to start a vegetable packing company where we grow the vegetables, we pack them, we cut them up, pack them in polythene. We have frozen them, okay. And you have flown them directly into those supermarkets. All right. In such an activity, you need to identify who are these people who are going to bring us these companies. Yes. The Constitution allows us as a county to go out there and borrow money with a guarantee by the Kenya government. So it is possible for us to go to the World Bank, for us to go to other bilateral organizations and say to them, we have got a road project. We can go to the Chinese and say we are looking for aid. We are looking to borrow money, to develop our road infrastructure and another infrastructure. And we can do that. It's a question of going out there, getting into negotiations with the Chinese government or other governments, to the World Bank, and we borrow money from them, provided we can show that we can pay, for this for that money. Mm. So they are so wide. I mean, the sources of funding are so wide that it depends on how qualified as an individual, as a senator you are, to be able to go out there and source for the funding. So I believe that, in fact, it is possible for us to transform our county. Because if you're talking about companies, for example, the first question you asked us, yes, was about the youth and job creation.
Yeah.
If you want, for example, to create a business process outsourcing, all right, in technology and move our county into a technology county, including some of the things that Karithi is talking about in environment. We need to go out there, discuss with organizations that that can source business, process outsourcing, and call centers from us. So we need to go and negotiate with them and tell them Kenya is a good nation. Nyeri is even a better place, where you can be able to put your business process outsourcing locations. We have a fiber optic cable that is, that's passing right through Nyeri.
Yes.
And it is possible for us, that's another huge resource that is sitting right there that we can utilize in more ways than we can even begin to imagine right now, including developing our hospitals, through the fiber, so that instead of going to India to get fixed in India, to get treated in India, it will be possible through technology and proper training of our people to have a doctor in India operate somebody in Nyeri County.
From India?
From India. And we can have Nyeri people coming from elsewhere, people coming from other counties to come for treatment in our county.
In your first day of elected senator, are you saying the resources, the process of mobilizing the resources will have kicked off in earnest?
I think so. I think in fact, I'll tell you what I think is, there are counties that in fact have a problem, not so much the problem of getting the resources, but actually the problem of spending the money. Okay. Because you see, if you want, this year...
Let's hold that on. Let's take this phone call. Let's just take this phone call. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, can you tell us your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Simon from Kuraide.
Who? Sorry, be loud.
I'm Simon from Kuraide.
Yes.
I'm Simon from Kuraide.
Yes, Simon.
I'm Simon from Kuraide.
Okay. Ask your question, Simon.
Nataka kuongea na mtai.
Yes, muulize.
Nimwambie nimcongratulate, nimwambie aendelee hivyo hivyo. Na tuko naye tunamkubali kwa kazi yake.
Asante. There was a compliment coming your way.
Yeah, but
one vote locked.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Thank you. Mwambie nimesema asante sana. But I think that what I was alluding to is this. In terms of resource mobilization, yes, and in terms of acquiring enough money to develop the county, basically it's both internal and external. We cannot just rely on our internal sources. The other thing is this. We have enough money around the county to do a lot of things. For example, if you look at the money that is just being held by the cooperatives, the coffee cooperatives, the tea cooperatives, we are holding such potential to move to the next level. The money is right there. So some of these in situations, we would simply need creative thinking that says we have got so much money, let us now start using it this way. Okay. Rather than holding it in a bank or keeping it or buying.
So Nyeri will be a county where the money will be there, using it is the issue.
Well, I believe it. We are going to have sufficient resources to develop Nyeri. Trust me.
Job.
Well, I think that the very first thing that we have never been able to do is to develop our resources properly. A good example. How much water is being bottled in Nyeri and being sold as a bottled commodity or mineral water. You look at a company like Highlands, which is a pretty nice company, using Nyeri water right from the river, making money out of it. Can't communities be able to do these kind of things? We've been thinking inside the box, Shege. We could think outside the box. If we did, Nyeri has a lot of water that leaves its environs every day or within every hour, millions of gallons of water living. What use do we have on that water? You find lakes as big as Chinga Lake, Chinga Dam, which is a lake actually. And it's just there for people to see. There's nothing happening. I think there is lack of connectivity between the resources and the development of resources. Two, if you take a place like Moiga is pretty much the hub for agriculture in Nyeri. In fact, Moiga can feed Central Province, but it has no water. But nobody has ever thought about the adaptation fund. How do we access money from the adaptation fund? Which is quick, precise, and it's not even a loan.
Job, again, hold that. Let's take this phone call. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Can you reduce the volume on your TV, tafadhali?
I'm calling from Kenny East.
Yes.
I'm located at Bagret.
Tafadhali ziba volume ya TV yako. Okay, let's just move on. We lost them.
So I was talking about the adaptation fund.
Yes.
These are funds that are ready for use in places because of vulnerability coming through climate change. Again, the biggest enemy of Nyeri would be climate change. The dryness that happens in that area of Bagret that he was talking about, the caller was talking about, it gets so dry that a cow you bought for 90,000, you start selling it for 2,000, 3,000, because it's just a few days and it will be dead. Now, I tell you, there are so many areas that we can use to fund Nyeri itself within its own resources. I agree with Honorable Mutahi. It is necessary also to forge good relationships with external either buyers, donors, or whatever it is. Because even if it's your coffee, you need to create specific markets for your coffee. Turn your coffee into organic. It's even cheaper than keeping it the way it is.
Okay.
Heal your soils with good fertilizers.
So in your case, resource mobilization should actually even start from internal heading outside.
Absolutely. Even before we borrow, we would actually look at what are the lowest fruits to pick. Let's take
the phone call now. Hello? Hello?
Hello, habari yako?
Salama sana. Nani mwenzangu?
Mimi naitwa Joseph.
Joseph, kutoka wapi?
Napiga kutoka Kieni.
Yes, ulize swali.
Nimeona tuna maseneta kama Mutaikawa, Chris Murungaru na mwingine hapo.
Anaitwa Job, si mwingine hapo.
But you have not seen them in the grounds. Their competitors ahead of them. We only know one of them. That now I can see there are four.
Okay.
Lakini hatujawasikia. Tunawasikia saizi.
Hawajakuja kwenye mashinani kupiga campaign.
No, hawajafika. Please, we want them to come.
Watajibu hiyo swali. Watajibu hiyo swali. Asante. Yes, you are saying, concluding.
Well, I'll tell that gentleman that the campaigns are just about to begin. We just having nominations just got
This
done.
is now the final
This
lap.
is just the beginning of the campaigns. But actually, when you look at some of those things that we could do, I'll give you a good example. Nyeri is able to produce 30,000 tons of coffee.
Okay.
30,000 tons of green coffee. If you converted it into roasted coffee, you would probably have something like 24,000 tons, which is 24 million kilos. If you were to actually think of how to get Nyeri as a mega county, you would have to think of a way to sell that coffee straight into a cup, because nothing tells Nyeri that they cannot set up cafes the way Brazil does in all foreign countries, the way Colombia does, the way Jamaica does with their Blue Mountain coffee. These are
I have
areas.
a feeling that if you elected the first senator of Nyeri, in your first year, agriculture will get a massive allocation of resources.
I am from a farmers' party.
All right.
Our main aim is
the
actually
farmers.
to do agriculture and do it right. And Nyeri is agrarian anyway. When you do agriculture right, you
Yes.
keep the water clean out of those nitrates in water that
Yes.
make you not be able to set as bottled water. You keep your air clean. You gain in carbon credits, a lot of money. And then you increase the value of your produce because it's now organic and the markets are different from the ones that we've always been in. In actual fact, Nyeri has even nothing that you can point at outside of Nyeri itself. Nothing has ever been done in Nyeri and been told it comes from Nyeri. If it's coffee, it's sold bulk. From the farmer directly to a broker. The county, the populace, the community has never had any chance to enjoy any of those natural resources. So this is a time to do it, and I'm glad that the constitution changed so that we can do this. And I'm very, very sure that all Nyeri needs is a brilliant senator.
And you're that man?
Absolutely.
Daktari.
Thank you.